Hello friends, this is our 13th lecture of unit alcohols and we were discussing various methods by which we can synthesize alcohols from alkenes. So far we have discussed direct hydration and indirect hydration using oxymercuration and demercuration. Today we will see another method for indirect hydration of alkenes by which we can make alcohols is hydroboration and oxidation reaction. So before discussing this, first let us see what was the need behind this, that why we require another method to synthesize alcohols, as we already discussed two methods, direct hydration and oxymercuration and demercuration. Now consider, suppose we have this compound CH3C CH3 double bond CH3, and I want to synthesize, for example, suppose CH3C CH3H CHOH CH3. Now suppose I want to synthesize this alcohol from this alkene. Now if you see carefully, we have added water, whether it is a direct addition or indirect addition. So in this product, hydrogen has added to a carbon which has lesser number of hydrogen atoms, means this is anti-Markovnikov addition. Okay, this is anti-Markovnikov addition of water to alkene. But so far the methods that we have discussed already, be it direct hydrolysis in the presence of acid and water, or be it oxymercuration OAC twice, demercuration with the help of NaBH4, it is oxymercuration, demercuration, indirect method for synthesis of, or indirect method for hydration of alkenes, and it is a direct hydration. And these reactions, they take place according to Markovnikov rule, and the product that we will obtain is CH3C CH3OH CH2 CH3. So with the help of these two processes, hydroboration and oxidation, and this is direct hydration, we will get this alcohol. We will never get this alcohol. So this product has been obtained, and the orientation of this product is Markovnikov's rule. The orientation is according to Markovnikov's rule. So that's why we need some other methods by which we can synthesize this alcohol. So the method used for synthesis alcohol according to anti-Markovnikov addition is hydroboration and oxidation. So this is a very nice process by which we can synthesize alcohols from alkenes. Hydroboration, so it is hydroboration and oxidation. It is a combination of two processes. In first step, hydroboration takes place. In second step, when we do oxidation, we get alcohols, and the orientation of product is anti Markovnikov. We get alcohol according to anti-Markovnikov's rule. So if we have to synthesize this alcohol from the alkene, we need to do this hydroboration and oxidation. Now let us learn how this was developed. So a very famous scientist, H.C. Brown, he worked at Purdue University, and he even got Nobel Prize for this work. But he observed that when we add diborane to alkenes, so he observed, or we can say he discovered that addition of diborane to alkenes. Suppose this is the alkene, double bond CH3. Now if we add diborane to this, diborane is B2H6. So we will discuss about this in our next slide, what this is. So if what he observed, that this molecule of diborane, actually it is a dimer of borane, BH3. Borane is BH3, it dimerizes to give diborane. So what he observed, that this diborane, it adds to alkene according to anti-Markovnikov rule. So anti-Markovnikov rules means the hydrogen will go to the carbon which has lesser number of hydrogens. So CH3 basically we have to add BH3. It will, you can split it in this term BH2H. This is just to for your understanding I have split it, otherwise it is not like that it exists in this form. This is just to explain you. This H goes to the carbon which has lesser number of hydrogen, because addition has to take place in anti-Markovnikov way. Why it takes place by anti-Markovnikov we will discuss in our next slide. Now in this carbon this BH2 has been added, so we obtain a organoborane compound. Organoborane, why? Because this boron is added to carbon, so that's why we call it organoborane. So this addition of borane has, it takes place by anti-Markovnikov way. Okay, anti-Markovnikov way. Now upon, this is the hydroboration step, because we have added hydrogen and borane, so that's why it is called hydroboration. And upon oxidizing this organoborane compound, in the next step what he observed, that when he oxidized this organoborane compound with the help of this alkaline hydrogen peroxide, we can write it as H2O2OH negative, alkaline hydrogen peroxide. This BH2 was replaced by OH, so CH3C, CH3H, CHOH, it is CH3, CH3. So we got this alcohol. So upon hydroboration and oxidation, the product obtained was the alcohol, in which the water has been added to this alkene according to anti-Markovnikov rule. So this reaction leads to a great wide chemistry of organoborane compounds. So that's why he got even Nobel Prize for his work on organoboranes. Professor H.C. Brown, he worked at Purdue University. So now let us see what is this borane which I have discussed, B2H6 diborane, what it is all about. So diborane, as it is written as B2H6, it is a dimer of borane. This BH3 is called borane, B2H6 is called diborane. So this borane, actually it has only 6 electrons around borane, so its octet is not complete. So in order to complete its octet, it dimerizes to diborane. It does not exist as BH3, it mainly exists as diborane. And structure of diborane, so its geometry or its structure is quite famous, so today we cannot discuss that. I will just tell you its structure is like this, where two hydrogens, they act as bridged hydrogens, and this bond is not a normal bond. This bond, it is also called a banana bond between this boron, hydrogen and boron, BHB bond. This is not a normal covalent bond, it is also called a banana bond. It is a 3 center 2 electron bond. So where, in order to attach these 3 atoms, only 2 electrons has been utilized, so that's why it is called 3 center 2 electron bonds. Mainly this compound is electron deficient compound, that means it can act as an electrophile. So BH3, as its octet is not complete, in order to complete its octet, it acts as a good electrophile. So diborane, the structure of diborane is this, and it exists in equilibrium with borane, where the equilibrium mainly lies around diborane. Only a small amount of borane is present in this equilibrium. Now but when we have to react this diborane with alkene, the direct use of diborane is highly avoidable. Why? Because this diborane is highly toxic. It is a gas, it is a flammable gas, and it is explosive, so its use is quite difficult. So how we can use it? Has been observed that upon adding other protic solvents, or mainly used is THF, tetrahydrofuran. if we add it to B2H6, we get this adduct, this BH3 complex, where it is positive, it is negative, because it has given its 2 electrons to borane, 2 molecules of this. Now this adduct is written as BH3THF. It is a good source of borane. In order to carry out experiments with to prepare organoboranes, this is a reagent that is mostly used because it is easy to measure and it can be used, it can be handled easily, whereas diborane was a highly toxic, flammable and explosive gas. So from now onwards we will be writing the hydroboration step with BH3THF, where the addition is of BH3. That means we have to add BH3 to alkenes. Now let us see what hydroboration oxidation overall, what this reaction is. This reaction is, suppose we have any alkene. Now if, as I said, the source of borane will be BH3THF, this step is called hydroboration step, and the product is to 1 carbon hydrogen will be added, and to second carbon we will add BH2, and this addition will takes place according to anti-Markovnikov orientation. It is not direct anti-Markovnikov rule, but the overall addition is anti to Markovnikov rule. So why this occurs we will discuss. Now in the second step, this organoborane which is obtained, this organoborane, this upon, as I said, upon oxidation with hydrogen peroxide and aqueous alkali water, what we get, this BH2 will be replaced H, this is H C OH, so you will get a alcohol. So this is quite easy reaction, and the importance of this reaction is the alcohol that is obtained is according to anti-Markovnikov rule. Why is it so? We will see when we will study its mechanism. So that is the hydroboration oxidation step. This is hydroboration step with BH3 and THF, and this is your oxidation step. So by combination of these two processes, the final product will be alcohol. Now let us see what is the mechanism of this reaction. First I will write a general mechanism, then I will discuss with its orientation with a specific unsymmetrical alkene. Suppose we have any alkene, C double bond C. Now it has high pi electron density, pi electrons, that means it can act as a nucleophile. Now if we add to this BH3THF, basically we have to add BH3. Now BH3 is an electron deficient compound, its octet is not complete, octet is not complete. So in order to complete its octet, it can accept electrons, that means it can act as good electrophile. So this BH3 can act as good electrophile. What happens, this alkene donates its pi electron to BH3 and we get a structure something like this. So these are hypothetical structures. The main transition state that we have to see, I will discuss with you. First, what happens, this pi electrons, it donates its electrons to BH3 and we get a structure, this is hypothetical structure something like this. Now this rearranges, this structure rearranges to a transition state which is a 4-membered cyclic transition state, and the transition state is this boron attached to 1 carbon, this hydrogen goes to second carbon, and I will write the transition state with you. Then I will discuss with an example why there is a possibility of what are the different possibilities. So we can write C Here it is the we can show formation of bond between B and boron and carbon, and simultaneously the bond between hydrogen and boron is breaking and the bond between carbon and hydrogen is forming. So this is called, so we can say this is C. Now I will compare this with this. So this is a concerted step. First remember, it is a concerted step, that means bond formation and bond breaking. Bond formation and breaking, they are simultaneous, means they occur in a single step. It is a transition state. This is important. This transition state I have just written here just to show you how this transition state has obtained. First, its pi electrons, it has high electron density alkene, so its pi electrons, they this alkene donates its pi electron to empty p orbitals of boron. Boron has empty p orbitals, so it can accept electrons from alkenes, so its orbitals can interact with the orbitals of p orbitals of boron, its molecular orbitals, so can interact with the atomic p orbitals of boron, and we will get a transition state like this. Now as I said, this boron is highly electrophilic, so what will happen, it will it will have a negative charge because now it has accept two electrons from alkene. So what it will do, it will induce a partial positive charge. It is partial negative, not negative, it is partial negative. So what it will do, it will induce a positive charge on this carbon. So now this step is very important when we will discuss its orientation. So what happens, because of the electrophilic character of boron, it attracts the pi electrons towards itself. So what it does, it induces a partial positive charge on the adjacent carbon. Now this transition state, it rearranges to something like this: H C BH2, where this bond between carbon and boron has been formed completely. Bond between hydrogen and boron has been broken. So and bond between hydrogen and carbon has been formed. All these steps, they takes place simultaneously. That's why it is a concerted mechanism. Simultaneously, they occur simultaneously. So it is a concerted mechanism. So this four-member transition state, it plays a vital role in deciding the orientation of the product. Those that route which will give a stable transition state, that will form the stable product, we will discuss in our next slide. So in our next slide, what I will do, I will take an example of unsymmetrical alkene. So I will obviate this step. I will directly write the four-member transition state which can be formed from this alkene, any alkene. Then we will see what are the different possibilities and which possibility will occur. So let us see. Suppose alkene, I will take this alkene that which I have taken in my first slide, CH3 double bond CH3. Now suppose we do its boration, hydroboration with BH3 THF. Now I will write the transition state. Now I will write the different possibilities. First possibility is this. So take help from this. What has to done, this boron will add to both the carbons. Now then it rearranges, it can go to either carbon, either to this or to this. Now we will take these two possibilities. Now this boron, first I will add this boron to this carbon and I will make the transition state. So the transition state is CH3 CH3, this CH3, yeah. Now this BH3 partial negative H, this is partial positive. Now this is a transition state, 4-membered cyclic transition state. Now this is not a product, neither intermediate nor product, it is a transition state. So in organic chemistry, whenever there is a formation of product during mechanism, we try to explain this with the help of transition states, which are hypothetical structures. We cannot isolate them. This helps us to understand the mechanism of the reaction. So this is BH2. This is BH2 because one hydrogen has come here. So this is the 4-membered transition state in this reaction. Now suppose let us see the second possibility. Now the second possibility was, I will write here, the second possibility was this boron, it adds to this carbon and hydrogen goes here. So let us write second transition state, CH3, CH3, this CH3. Yeah, now what I will do, I will add boron here, reverse of this boron here, hydrogen here, BH2, hydrogen adds to this carbon. Now it has a partial positive charge. Now you can see both the transition states, they carries a partial positive charge on carbon, means they have carbocation like structure. Carbocation like structure of transition state where positive charge is carried by carbon. Now if we compare whether this transition state is stable or this transition state is stable. Now this transition state has been obtained when we have added boron to this carbon and hydrogen to this carbon. This has been obtained when boron was added to this carbon and hydrogen was added to this carbon. Out of these two, if we see, it has a partial positive charge here which is attached to how many, 1, 2 or even this 3. So even if we ignore this, if we just take 1, 2, so these two methyl group, they stabilizes this partial positive charge, means it is relatively stable. It is relatively stable than this transition state. Suppose this transition state is 1, this is transition state is 2. Now transition state is 1, in which this carbon carrying positive charge, it is being stabilized by 2 methyl group, where here this carbon having positive charge, it is stabilized by only 1 carbon. Okay, so only 1 methyl group, means it is transition state 2 is less stable than transition state 1. So this transition state will occur, that means the formation of product will take place through this transition state. Remember, the transition state which is more stable, that leads to the formation of product. So if we write the product, this transition state will lead to this product CH3, 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 BH2. So this is the hydroboration product obtained. So you can remember this diborane or the borane attached to that carbon which is less hindered. So we can, from here we can see boron attaches to less hindered, or we can say less substituted carbon. So that means hydrogen will go to that carbon which has more alkyl groups or less hydrogens. That means overall addition is anti-Markovnikov. So you can see the overall addition is anti-Markovnikov. Hydrogen has been added to that carbon which has lesser number of hydrogen. Markovnikov rule says hydrogen should go to this carbon, but it has gone to this carbon. So this addition is anti to Markovnikov, or we can say it is anti-Markovnikov addition. So we explained this, why the addition is anti-Markovnikov, with the help of stability of the carbocation. Now it is not carbocation, it is carbocation like structure of transition state. So the stable is the transition state, that transition state will lead to the product. Now this transition state is less stable than this transition state, so we will say this transition state will not be formed, we will get this transition state, and through this transition state we will get this hydroboration product where boron has added to less hindered carbon. So also this addition is sterically favored. So the overall reason behind this anti-Markovnikov addition is both electronic as well as steric factors. So boron will add to less sterically hindered carbon. So both steric as well as electronic factors, they decide the addition of this boron to C double bond C, and easily you can remember boron will add to less hindered carbon. Simple. So that is the hydroboration product of this step. Now what happens is that this hydroboration mechanism that we have studied, in the next step what we have to do, this was the hydroboration product CH3 C CH3 H, okay, then CH BH2 CH3. Now what it does, it oxidizes, it gets oxidizes with hydrogen peroxide and alkali aqueous. We will also discuss this mechanism of this oxidation step. So you will get CH3C CH3H CHOH CH3. Now you can see overall what has happened. The initial product was CH3, reactant was CH3C CH3 double bond CH CH3. The overall is addition of water. Water has added here according to anti-Markovnikov rule. I am repeating again and again. Markovnikov, in hydroboration oxidation the addition of water takes place according to anti-Markovnikov rule, and there is no scope of rearrangement. Now let us discuss stoichiometry of reaction. Stoichiometry of this reaction means 3 moles of alkene can react with BH3. 3 moles of alkene can react with BH3. Let us see how. Suppose we have any alkene, let us write any alkene here, this C double bond C. First let us see first addition, first mole of alkene, it reacts with BH3 and you get C here H, here BH2. As it is symmetrical you can add to any position. Now this still has 2 hydrogens, it can add with the further molecule of alkene. So how it will add, it will, when we add, now I will write this step here so that you don't get confused. C plus, we have to add this boron, I will write here like this, BH2 CH. Okay, now what happens, one hydrogen will go to one carbon, this here, and this second carbon will have all this molecule BH here CH. Okay, we get this. Now this can be written as you can see, if we have this BH here, this CHC is common, so it is written as this H twice BH. So this even can add one more molecule of alkene, like here C, here it is H twice BH. It can add one more alkene molecule and you can get this CH thrice B, trialkyl boron. So we will keep on adding this BH3 alkene to this until and unless we get this diborane. So what we can write here, we can simply write here 3 alkenes plus BH3. It gives you this CH thrice B. So you can see 3 moles of alkene, they react with 1 mole of BH3 borane. So actually the source of BH3 is BH3THF. I have just used this for your easy understanding. So now this upon oxidation can give you 3 moles of alcohol. That we have to discuss the mechanism of that step. Now we have to discuss the mechanism of the oxidation step. What is the oxidation? First I will write any example of a oxidation step of this organoborane compound. Suppose we have obtained this borane, so it can be oxidized with alkaline hydrogen peroxide in aqueous medium to give you this alcohol. Now we have to see how this reaction occurs. Actually 3 alkyls, they can react with this alkyl boranes, they can give you this alcohol. So we will write the mechanism of this steps. The first step of this reaction is generation of hydroperoxide ion. Generation of hydroperoxide ion. So what happens, I will write here the first step. I will write here your hydrogen peroxide HOOH, it reacts with alkali OH negative. So OH negative is this, it abstract a proton from here and you get this HO negative. This ion is called hydroperoxide ion. Now for this type of organoborane I will generally use R3B. Okay, now we have seen from this slide the addition takes place until and unless we get this trialkyl boranes. So I will represent them generally R3B. So what is the next step? Next step is these alkyl boranes, they get attacked by these hydroperoxide ions. So they attack this boron because it is electrophilic and these have electrons, so they are nucleophiles. So what happens, we get B R R R O O H. Here is the negative charge. Now next step is very important, it is this alkyl shift. This alkyl group with its electron, it shifts here and this OH removes. So this I will write here, this is alkyl shift. What happens, we get R B R O R. Now this R has added to this oxygen plus OH negative. Okay, now this step will take place until and unless all these alkyl groups they have shifted. So what happens in the next step, now this can further react with this hydroperoxide ion. So it will there is no slide here. So what I will do, I will just rub something from here. So now we don't need this, so I can use the space here. Okay, now let us see what happens until and unless we get our desired alcohol. So now this alkoxy group, it further keep on adding, this will further be attacked by 2 times with OOH negative until and unless we get this B OR OR OR, and the mechanism of all these steps is same that I have written here. Now what happens next step is the hydrolysis of this trialkoxyborane. RO group is called alkoxy group. So now let us see what is the next step is hydrolysis, which will lead our alcohol. So I will write here. Yes, so now I can write. Now the next step is hydrolysis. So how hydrolysis is done? These B OR 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 they get attacked by OH negative, and this removes, we get RO B OR. These are borate esters. You can also call it borate ethers or borate esters. This OH will come here plus RO negative. Now this RO negative which is formed here, it will react with water to abstract a proton from here. So we get ROH plus OH negative. Now we get our desired alcohol. Now this hydrolysis step will keep on undergoing, this molecule will keep on undergoing hydrolysis step until and unless all these OR groups they get converted to this alcohol ROH group. So it is very easy. This is the mechanism of this oxidation step. So that is all for today. I hope you might have find this lecture useful. So in our next lecture we will discuss about the stereochemistry of oxymercuration, demercuration, and this hydroboration and oxidation. So we will see what are the comparison and differences between the stereochemistry of these two reactions. So today basically what we see, we learned that hydroboration and oxidation is a indirect hydration step of alkene, is an indirect process by which we can do hydration of alkene according to anti-Markovnikov rule. Okay, then we discuss the mechanism of hydroboration as well as oxidation, and we gave explanation why this is an anti-Markovnikov addition. So if you like the lecture, please do subscribe it and share with your friends. So thank you very much. See you in my next lecture on stereochemistry of hydroboration, oxidation, and oxymercuration and demercuration reaction.